So welcome, I'm Anne Lloyd, and we're going to do a 45-minute practice together in 2 sessions. So let's begin the first meditation practice together, and we're just going to really let our day go or our morning go if you're in the US, and just bring our awareness to the breath. So in our second practice today, we're doing a mountain meditation. So I want you seated for the second one, but for the first one, if you would like to lie down, then feel free to lie down. And if you can't lie down for the second one, just imagine you're seated as you would if you were a mountain. So in the first one, feel free to lie down or stay seated, pardon me, and just making yourself really comfortable, so you won't be disturbed for the next few minutes. And if it's comfortable, you can close your eyes, lower your gaze. You might need to move your shoulders, move your neck, and then just rest your shoulders down your back. If you're seated, your spine is nice and long. Feeling your feet on the ground, and your hands can be resting in your lap or just gently beside you. And just turning your attention towards the breath in this moment. So sensing the breath coming in and out through the body, sensing the inhale, sensing the exhale. And as you exhale, just imagine or intending to let your day go, to let everything go, to let everything that you've got to do after the session together, letting that go. So breathing in, bringing your awareness and attention to the breath in the body. And as you allow everything to fall away into the background on the out-breath, you're sinking further into the body. So imagining that energy is really coming from the thinking mind, the busy mind, down into the body with every exhale. Now just moving your attention just to parts of the body that can often experience tension. So let's begin at the forehead. Often we're so deep in our minds, busy in our heads. So as you bring your attention to the forehead, imagine that you're taking your breath there. And just noticing if there's an expansion of the skin on the forehead, as the forehead begins to soften just by the awareness. Now moving your attention to the jaw and the jawline, which is another area where we can experience tension in the body, and taking your attention there and the breath. So just imagining that you're breathing in and out through the jawline. You may grate your teeth in your sleep at night, or you may notice no tension in the jawline. And now dropping your attention from the jaw to the neck and the shoulders. So taking your attention there and taking the breath there and just exploring this area, the neck, the shoulders. Often we get very tight in the shoulders with stress, or if we're being busy at a computer every day, all day, we can be quite hunched. So exploring this area of the body with the breath. And now moving your attention down the spine to the base of the spine around the lower back, which is another area that we can experience discomfort or tension. So just exploring the lower back with your breath, breathing in and breathing out through the lower back. Maybe noticing that there's no tension or discomfort, which is fine. But just still exploring this area of the lower back. Feeling the gentle curve of the lower back. Sensing that curve. And now moving your attention somewhere else in the body. Wherever your attention is directed to, that perhaps is experiencing some form of discomfort, or there's a sensation that's present. So maybe there's coolness or warmth or tingling. So taking your attention there, taking your breath there, and exploring that area of the body, breathing in and breathing out. And when you feel complete, bringing your attention back just to resting on the breath, wherever the breath settles in the body. So rather than thinking about the breath, we're beginning to sense the breath, sensing the inhale and the exhale. And noticing if the mind is distracted by thoughts or indeed sounds. So anytime the mind wanders off the breath, the awareness is in noticing where the mind has traveled to, and then just bringing your attention back to resting with the breath and beginning the inhale once more. And as you rest here with the breath, perhaps if you feel called to, just bringing an intention to mind, something that you want to create for yourself from the next 45 minutes. So maybe it could be to be grounded or relaxed or peaceful or joyful or to have clarity, whatever it is. And then state that as if it's happened. So it may be, if it is peaceful, I am at peace. Or I experience peacefulness. Or I experience stillness, whatever it is, but state the intention as if it's happened. And in Yoga Nidra, they often, in alignment with stating an intention for the practice, they suggest taking a moment of gratitude. So naming in your mind's eye something in your life that you experience gratitude towards. And just naming it in your mind's eye. And now letting your intention and whatever you're grateful for gently fade into the background. And bringing your attention back to resting on the breath once more as you breathe in and as you breathe out. So you may notice today in this practice that the mind is really active and busy, especially if you completed work for the day, or maybe if you're in the middle of the day. So just allowing this to be your experience in this moment, and anytime the mind wanders, just bringing your attention back to resting on the breath once more. So as you rest your attention on the breath, sensing the breath in the body, the movement of the breath, perhaps noticing how the abdomen expands on every inhale. So sensing that gentle pushing of the breath against the clothing on the inhale, and how the abdomen is released on the exhale. Maybe sensing the breath just in the chest, noticing how the shoulders rise gently with the inhale. Noticing how the rib cage expands on every inhale and is released on the exhale. So much like children have a curiosity towards things, just allowing yourself to be curious with the breath and the body, as if you've never experienced this sensation of breathing before. And as we come to close our first practice together in this circle, imagining now that you're extending that breath throughout the entire body, as if the entire body is now breathing from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head. The entire body is now breathing. It's as if the body has become porous with each inhale and each exhale. Sensing the whole body as you sit or as you lie here. And in your own time, just gently releasing this first practice together and opening your eyes. I don't know if you heard that giant helicopter going overhead, but it was really, really noisy. So today I just want to briefly chat about the busyness of the mind and our thinking mind, because many clients talk to me about how they switch off this busyness in their minds and busyness of thoughts. And thoughts are really, really powerful. When we focus on thoughts, they tend to become things, and it becomes our reality. And it's really, really important to choose not only what we think about, but to choose how often we think about it, because quite often we're ruminating about things that have happened in the past, and we beat ourselves up with shoulds and could'ves. And then we think about things in the future, and we're really good at telling ourselves stories. And we make these giant stories up thinking about, something's going to happen and we have no control over it. And we invest this huge amount of energy into thinking of stuff that's never going to happen, rather than being very present in the here and now. And in my little note to my database today, I said, we think around 90,000 thoughts a day. And there's, a few people say, oh, it's 60 or 70,000, but whatever, it's a huge amount. The interesting part of that is that the majority of those thoughts were the same as the ones that we had yesterday. So we're overthinking a huge amount. And the trouble with overthinking is that we forget about all this, another resource that we have, which is our intuitive guidance system. And that often requires a sense of stillness so that we can hear that gentle whispering of our inner guidance. It sort of needs space in which to come through. And when we're like thinking, it's kind of got no space. So this little practice that we're doing together helps with creating these moments of stillness. And I was talking to I caught up with a now friend who had joined one of my early mindfulness training practices. And she looked at me and she said, you know, your meditation course has saved me, because her husband is going through cancer. And, you know, it's been 6 years of extreme challenge. And she said, if it wasn't for that, I don't know where I would be today. I would be in constant overwhelm. So, you know, she does meditation regularly and she finds it helpful. But meditation isn't the only way to stop thinking. There are many other things that you can do to stop the thinking mind. Just simply stopping, feeling your feet on the earth and breathing 3 times really consciously helps. Or being out in nature and just really paying attention to nature all around you, the trees, the color of the grass. And in the northern hemisphere, we're really lucky at the moment with spring, because there is so much to see. So just noticing in our second practice whether, you know, you're getting caught up in thoughts, and just noticing the busyness of your mind in our second practice, which we're going to do the mountain practice, which I think is a really, really beautiful practice. And I just think John Kabat-Zinn, his mountain practice is just the best. So I'm going to cheat in this one, if you like, and I'm going to read some of his practice with interwoven with a little bit of Annie Lloyd. So in this practice, if you can, it's really good if you could be seated and your spine is nice and long. But if you've got any pain and it's uncomfortable, then please lie down, and you can just imagine that you are seated with a lovely long spine. So just making yourself comfortable. So I'm sitting cross-legged. And you can close your eyes in this practice. So just bringing your awareness to every part of the body that is in contact. So perhaps noticing your feet connected to the floor and the lower legs, your thighs and your buttocks. And you can rest your hands on your lap. And letting your shoulders come down the back, and your neck is nice and long. So now just bringing awareness to the breath and the actual physical sensations of the breath in the body. Sensing that breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. So not trying to change the breath in any way, just allowing the breath to be as it is in this moment. So allowing the breath to flow easily and naturally with its own rhythm and pace. So as you sit here, just seeing if you can bring a sense of dignity, a sense of being complete and whole in this very moment. And in a sense that your posture is reflecting this sense of wholeness. So as you sit here, letting an image form in your mind's eye of the most beautiful mountain that you know, or that you know that you've been to, or you've seen, or you can imagine. So just bringing to your mind's eye this beautiful mountain or mountains. And letting that image gradually come into greater focus. And if you can't imagine a mountain, if it doesn't sort of take sense, just allowing the sense of the mountain to take shape. So its lofty peak or peaks high in the sky, the large base, rooted in the bedrock of the earth's crust, its steep or gently sloping sides. So noticing how massive this mountain is, how solid, how unmoving, how beautiful, whether from afar or up close. So perhaps your mountain has snow blanketing its top and trees reaching down to the base. Perhaps your mountain has rugged granite sides. There may be streams and waterfalls cascading down the slopes. There may be one peak or a series of peaks. It may have meadows or high lakes. So just observing the quality of this mountain, and when you feel ready, seeing if you can bring the mountain into your own body as you sit here, so that you, your body and the mountain in your mind's eye become one. So in essence, you're sharing in the magnificence and the stillness of this mountain, as if you become the mountain. So as we ground here together in this sitting posture, your head becomes the lofty peak supported by the rest of the body and affording a panoramic view. Your shoulders and arms are the sides of the mountain. Your buttocks and legs are the solid base, rooted to your cushion or your chair. And bringing a sense of uplift from deep within your pelvis and spine, with each breath as you continue sitting, becoming a little more like a breathing mountain, alive and vital, yet unwavering in your inner stillness, completely what you are beyond words and thought. You're a centered, grounded, unmoving presence. So as you sit here, becoming aware of the fact that as the sun travels across the sky, the light and shadows and colors are changing virtually moment by moment in the mountain stillness. And the surface teems with life and activity. Streams, melting snow, waterfalls, plants, wildlife. So as the mountain sits, seeing and feeling how night follows a day and a day follows a night. The bright warming sun followed by the cool night sky studded with stars, and the gradual dawning of a new day. Through it all, the mountain just sits, experiencing change in each moment, constantly changing, yet always just being itself. It remains still as the seasons flow into one another, and as the weather changes moment by moment and day by day, calmness abiding all change. In summer, there is no snow on the mountain except perhaps for the very peaks or in crags shielded from direct sunlight. In the autumn, the mountain may wear a coat of brilliant fireworks. In winter, a blanket of snow and ice. In spring, beautiful flowers. In any season, it may find itself at times enshrouded in clouds or fog or pelted by freezing rain. People may come to see the mountain and comment on how beautiful it is, or how it's not a good day to see the mountain, that it's too cloudy or rainy, foggy or dark. But none of this matters to the mountain, which remains at all times its essential self. Clouds may come and clouds may go. Tourists may like it or not. The mountain's magnificence and beauty are not changed one bit by whether people see it or not, seen or unseen, and sun or clouds, broiling or frigid, day or night. The mountain just sits being itself. At times visited by violent storms, buffeted by snow and rain and winds of unthinkable magnitude. Through it all, the mountain just sits. Spring comes, trees leaf out, flowers bloom in the high meadows and slopes. Birds sing in the trees once again. Streams overflow with the waters of melting snow. Through it all, the mountain continues to sit, unmoved by the weather, by what happens on its surface, by the world of appearances, remaining its essential self through the seasons, the changing weather, the activity ebbing and flowing on its surface. In the same way as we sit in meditation together today, we can learn to experience the mountain. We can embody the same central, unwavering stillness and groundedness in the face of everything that changes in our lives over seconds, over hours, over years. In our lives and in this meditation practice, we experience constantly the changing nature of mind and body and of the outer world. We have our own periods of light and darkness, activity and inactivity, our moments of colour and our moments of drabness. It's true that we may experience storms of varying intensity and violence in the outer world and in our own minds and bodies, buffeted by high winds, by cold and rain. We endure periods of darkness and pain, as well as the moments of joy and uplift. Even our appearance changes constantly, experiencing a weather of its own. By becoming the mountain in our meditation practice, we can link up with its strength and stability and adopt them for our own. We can use the energies of the mountain to support our energy to encounter each moment with mindfulness and clarity. It may help to see that our thoughts, our feelings, our preoccupations, our emotional storms and crises, even the things that happen to us, are very much like the weather on the mountain. We tend to take it all personally, but its strongest characteristics, this mountain, it's impersonal. The weather of our own lives is not to be ignored or denied. It is to be encountered, honoured, felt, and known for what it is, and held in awareness. And holding it in this way, we come to know a deeper silence and stillness and wisdom. Mountains have this to teach us, and much more if we can let it in. So if you can find you resonate in some way with the strength and stability of the mountain in this seated practice, it may be helpful to use this from time to time in your own meditation practice, to remind you of what it means to sit mindfully with resolve and with wakefulness and true stillness. So in the time that remains, just continuing to sustain the mountain meditation on your own in silence, moment by moment. And I will just let you know when we are complete. So still sitting with the image of the mountain, that you are that mountain. And as you sit here, just feeling that sense of this magnificent mountain, just recalling the intention that you set for yourself at the beginning of this practice, in the present tense. And just bringing now your awareness to the breath. Resting your attention on the breath. Still sensing the energy of the mountain within you, that strength and power and groundedness of this beautiful mountain. And as we come to close this practice together, bringing your awareness to your feet on the floor, and feeling that connection to the earth beneath your feet. And then bringing awareness to the buttocks as you sit here. And now I'm moving the awareness to the length of the spine from the coccyx to the vertebrae. Sensing the entire spine as you sit here. Now moving your attention to the forehead. And now down to your hands resting on your lap. And gently, in your own time, releasing this practice and opening your eyes.